Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about she reached her breaking point. Well, if you think about it, we all have breaking points, right? If you think about situations in your life, be it relationships, friendships, jobs, sometimes things are stressful and it gets to a point where you're like, this is too much, I can't take it anymore. I can't keep doing this. I can't keep going to this job where I'm mistreated, or I can't continue to stay in this relationship where it's not healthy, whatever it may be. And so you will realize that many situations, people just get to a breaking point. And I see that with some of the coachings that I do, where a partner was maybe neglectful or not listening to their partner, and they weren't centered emotionally. And so over time, they couldn't take it anymore, and eventually they had to leave. But there are always extenuating circumstances, always very unique situations that I see. And this is why I tell you every situation is so different and every breakup is different, because it's absolutely true. And today we've got a very unique situation. And we're going to get into this one, but this is an interesting story, so you're going to like this one, okay? They said, "Hi, Craig. Hope this email finds you well. I've watched a lot of your videos in the past month, and I finally decided to pull the trigger on reaching out to you for a coaching. And I just wanted to tell you guys, the only way to get a coaching with us is through my website. We'll never direct message you. We'll never message you on Instagram. There are some fake Instagram accounts that aren't mine out there. I'll never message you on the YouTube channel. I'll always just say, if you want to book a coaching through the website. I won't ever do anything through a WhatsApp or something like that. So always be careful, okay? And the only way to get the workbooks and the Creative Healing course is through the website as well. I don't sell it on like YouTube or anything like that. My ex and I met at a dancing organization and started dating in college in 2018 when I was a sophomore and she was a junior. Okay, so he was in his late teenage years. She was just a little bit older. The last 5 years, we went through so much together. We learned a lot, grew up, and matured together. We had conversations about getting married, having kids, and making a future together. I have to say that she has an anxious attachment style, and I'm an avoidant attachment style. She was more attached to me than I was to her. In our 4th year together, she decided to move out of state to pursue a master's degree. We made it work. It was all going great until January of 2022. I was diagnosed with stage 2 Ewing's sarcoma. Okay, so a sarcoma, I don't know a lot about. Obviously, it's a cancer. My mom had a sarcoma. It was a very unusual, rare sarcoma. I did look it up at the time of the coaching to see what it was, but I don't remember what it was. But my mom had it was called a dedifferentiated chondrosarcoma, which was in her bone, and it was extremely rare. Obviously, though, this guy is only in his early 20s, and he's getting diagnosed with cancer. My ex-girlfriend decided that she should move back to be with me to help take care of me through treatment. It was a tough treatment. I was not the same person. My character and my personality had changed. And who could blame him? Can you imagine going through cancer in your early 20s? I mean, you have all kinds of medication. It's painful. It's uncomfortable. You're scared. You're worried about dying at an early age. It's going to impact your whole life, okay? And it's going to make you like a different person. And that's completely understandable, okay? I saw my mom go through cancer. I saw my dad go through cancer. And watching what they went through was very difficult, particularly for my mom, because hers was far more aggressive and a lot harder to watch her go through that. My dad actually beat cancer 3 times and wound up passing away from COVID. He was at the hospital getting treatment, and he caught COVID from the hospital, which is obviously very upsetting to see somebody go through that. It was horrible. But you can imagine him going through cancer treatment. It's going to impact your mood. It's going to impact everything. You're not going to be yourself. You're going to be happy and joyful and, thinking about going away for vacations and watching the newest TV show together. You're just not yourself. He says, I bottled everything in, and as a result, I ended up neglecting my relationship and pushing my ex away. I mean, it's a very difficult situation, and so you can't sit here and beat yourself up. I'm sure you did the best that you could. I beat cancer officially in October of 2022, but in December, she had reached her breaking point and ended the relationship. So obviously she really loved him. She did her best to stick it through, and when he finally beat it, she was like, I can't do this anymore. She reached the breaking point. Now, what was it? What was that breaking point? Well, we'll get into that, but I have a couple of ideas. Just already. I don't remember the email coaching and the specifics because I did it a while ago, but just reading this and thinking about naturally what would happen here, I have some ideas. She blindsided me as throughout my entire treatment, I told her I wasn't the same person. To give me time, at least until I finished, so we could work on our relationship and I could go back to feeling normal. I mean, that's honest, right? For the first month, I obviously fought for our relationship to some point and even begged her to try and make it work with me and not to give up on us. I felt horrible for pushing her away and for everything I put her through after everything she had done for me. Listen, it's not an easy situation. You're going through cancer, and nobody's going to be themselves when they're going through those kind of treatments. And if you've seen a loved one go through it, you know what I'm talking about. And so if you know somebody that went through cancer, maybe you could leave some positive comments for this guy who's completely beating himself up. She told me that I wasn't the same person that I was before, and that she was scared that I was not going to change back to my normal self, that I was mean and I would not show her any affection. Of course you're not your normal self. And, you were probably on all kinds of medications that would have affected your mood. But I could see why she's scared. Not only is she probably scared that you won't go back to your normal self, but she may be scared that you get cancer again. And the idea of going through this again at whatever age she is, like 23-ish, around there, is scary, right? She told me she didn't want to be stuck in a relationship like this for the rest of her life. I mean, I can't blame her. But it does seem like it would have been nice if she gave you a little bit more time to try and get back to yourself. You'd only been cleared of the cancer in October, and she's already breaking up with you shortly after. That she shouldn't have to wait for what she deserves. Now, I have a problem with that, because you are going through cancer treatment. Where's the empathy and the understanding here? It's a bit entitled or selfish, but to say that. However, I found out she's talking to some other guy, even though she was back in her state finishing up her degree. Okay. So to leave it vague, they were living in one state. The fourth year they're together, she goes out of state to college. Then he finds out she's talking to this guy from where he's at. They're out of state, mind you. I don't know how he found out, but that's probably why she was acting so cold here. When we said our goodbyes, we talked for over 2 hours. She cried the entire time, and she told me she would always care about me, that she was so happy I was still alive. Well, I believe that, because she stood by your side, and she went through hell together with you, and I just think now she's like, this is a lot. I need to be free. I'm overwhelmed. I'm afraid. I'm afraid this could happen again. And, when she got into the relationship, she didn't sign up for that, to stick it out through cancer. She was a kid, 18, 19 years old. And she managed to stick it out that whole time. But for her, it's like you're not expecting to deal with something like that in an early young relationship. And I think it overwhelmed her. She also told me she didn't want to fix things right now. We hugged and thanked each other for everything. I'm currently in week 4 of no contact. I muted her social media, but she keeps looking at my stories. She did reach out to me in week 3 about my dog's birthday. That certainly sounds like an excuse to contact you, right? But the conversation was dry and short, so I ended it. I've been focusing on myself, going to therapy, trying to restart my life after a traumatic, crazy year, and working with my therapist on becoming a better communicator and learning to validate my feelings. And you can learn all those things in the workbooks and the Creative Feeling course. We cover all of those topics, and the Creative Healing course has a bunch of stuff on learning to validate and empathize and be understanding to get you to be really skilled in your relationships. Do you think she will get in a rebound relationship? Can I get a second chance? Well, I do think she's talking to this other guy and basically acting really young and immature right now. She's doing what a normal 20-ish year old person would be doing, somebody in their early 20s. She's kind of relieved. She knows you're okay. She feels good that she helped you. She feels good that you're okay. But now she kind of wants to go off and just be young and immature. So I do think she'll probably date other people, whether she gets into a relationship or not. I wouldn't say if she does it'll get anything serious, right? She might just want to be young and feel free and feel like, a 19-year-old, kind of how she was when she started to date you. I mean, I give her a lot of credit for sticking around and doing what most people at this age would really struggle to do. And I do think she genuinely loves you and cares about you. But I don't think she wants to get back together anytime soon. You guys went through hell together. And she's scared. I think she's scared for a lot of reasons. I think she's scared you might get cancer again. She's scared she might have to go through that again with you. She's scared that you may regress or not go back to the guy you were all those years that things were going well. But I do think you'll hear from her. So you really want to stay focused on that personal growth, because it may not be a while. She may need to go off and be young and do all that stuff. But I think she has a really deep love and care for you. And considering all the things you guys have talked about, love and marriage and kids and all that stuff, she's not going to forget about those things. And, I know you're hurt and you're angry and you're probably shocked and you're probably mad that she didn't stick around longer or give you more time to get back to yourself. But for her, this felt like a window of opportunity. I got to get out now. Now that I know he's okay, I got to go off and be single and be free. And I don't blame her. I know it hurts to hear, but if you really put yourself in her shoes, it's easy to understand why it would be so difficult for her. But if she comes back around again, and she's going to be long distance for a bit longer for school, I guess, she'll probably come back to visit family. And if she does, she contacts you, set a date, focus on having fun. Don't ask about rebounds. Don't ask about what she's doing. It's not going to be anything you want to hear. But she's young and she's immature and she's just being her age. She's just acting her age right now. And I think she showed a lot of maturity by doing what somebody might have to do for their partner much later on in life, right? Like many people don't get cancer till they're much older in life, right? She showed how much she really cares about you by sticking by your side during the really, really difficult times. So try not to talk about those things when you get together. They'll come up, but your goal is really to have a great time with her. Just let her see that you've kind of moved past what you went through and you're in a great place, and just focus on trying to reattract her. And not putting the pressure of commitment, because she's probably still going to be long distance for a bit. And just focus on letting her miss you, letting her spend time with you, and feeling that connection with you again, okay? Obviously, this is a very unique, difficult situation. I do give her a lot of credit for sticking by your side during a difficult time. And, you know, I know you're beating yourself up, but you should be really proud of yourself for going through that. And I'm really glad that not only did you beat the cancer, but now you're using this as an opportunity to grow and change your life. You've already shown that you're doing the work and you're going to stay committed to it. So obviously this is a unique, difficult situation, and I wish you guys both the best, and hopefully you'll have another chance with her. But every day we get unique situations, and very often we get difficult situations. And, you know, situations with things that are outside the norm of a regular breakup, and that's why we're here to coach you. So if you want to get our help personally, you can always do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Skype. You can get my workbooks and my creative healing course there as well. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and I will talk with you soon.